Well, hello everybody. Pancakes here, and I have something a little bit different here. This is Doom. Doom. Yes, this is one of the grandfathers of all FPS games. You know those FPS games that we all like to play now? Call of Duty, Halo. It all came from this and Wolfenstein. Although I'd argue that this game probably had a bigger impact on shooters in general. And why am I uploading this? Well, first of all, just for anybody who's wondering, this is not an actual Let's Play. I'm uploading this because, number one, I think Doom provides some pretty entertaining gameplay, because Doom tends to be just non-stop monster demon slaying. And I can't really think of a game that has as high a body count as Doom, on Nightmare especially, because on Nightmare mode, the demons actually respawn. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Nightmare mode, it's basically one of the most difficult settings I've ever seen in a game. Where imagine, here's a way to think about it. Imagine Veteran in the Call of Duty games, where the enemies respawn every 10 seconds. And not only that, but they move twice as fast as normal. That's pretty much what Nightmare is here. You'll see. I mean, this is just the second level. Once we get into the later levels, you'll see just how crazy it can get. And Doom is actually the game that I grew up on, believe it or not. You know, back when I was 4, I used to play this first at my grandparents' house and later at home. And you'd think that given I grew up on such violent games as this, that I'd end up being some sort of serial killer, but let me assure you, I am not. Perfectly normal, at least I think I'm normal, but I don't have any sort of murderous tendencies that I know of. And you know, even today, this game is great fun. It's great fun. You should definitely check it out if you haven't played it already. It's if you get, like, right now I'm playing, this isn't, you know, the original source engine, I guess. I don't know what the correct terminology is. I'm not a big computer science guy, but this is I'm running this with ZDoom, which is sort of like, I don't know, it's a program that slightly modifies the original game. I mean, the gameplay is the same, but I think it provides you with mouse support, and it increases the graphical qualities a little bit, so you know it's at least tolerable. And it's overall it's a good engine. I'd recommend if you get this game or Doom 2 or any of the subsequent. If you get this or Doom 2, all the other, you know, like Plutonia, Experiment, TNT, those are just Doom 2 extensions. But if you get the Doom games, I would recommend ZDoom to go with it. It's a good engine to run it with, or program, or whatever the term is. And I think it's free. I think it's free. If it's not, it's really cheap, so it's not terribly expensive. Because this game is really old. I mean, it's 16 years old, I think, at this point. And it's got good replay value because there are a lot of user-made maps. There's a program you can get called Doom Builder, which allows you to make your own maps. And I've played with this a little bit, and it's actually really simple to use. And you can make, you know, any map you want, any map you can think of. You can even make your own textures. And so it's, a lot of people like to make Doom maps. I've downloaded a few myself, you know, some of the more well-known ones. And I gotta tell you, some of these maps, you know, some of these user-made maps are actually quite good. I mean, some of them are even better than the maps that come with the game. So there's a lot of content out there. People still play this. I mean, the Doom community for this game, believe it or not, is still actually quite active. So, you know, it's actually pretty fun. I play this from time to time. This is on Nightmare, like I said, which is notorious for being ridiculously difficult. To give you guys sort of an idea, id, the developing team, actually, I think, implemented this difficulty as a joke. like a joke that he's like, yeah, this is so hard, nobody could ever beat it. Like, they didn't expect this difficulty setting to be taken seriously, and I don't blame them. I mean, it's damn near impossible, and the only way to beat this is to have some sort of plan and some sort of route that you're going to take. And you'll see that I hit up different strategies, and I actually I've thought out sort of the course that I take here. And if you don't have a well thought out course, you're not going to be able to do this. I mean, unlike difficulty settings for any other game, like you might be able to pick up BioShock and play it on the hardest difficulty and get through. With Nightmare, you're not going to be able to if you just pick up and play. I'd say that the hardest, reasonable difficulty settings probably Ultraviolence, which is the difficult setting right below this. But yeah, Nightmare mode's pretty tough. Now, for a little bit background with the game, for those of you who aren't familiar with the storyline, basically, you're on this space station on a moon of Mars called, I think, Deimos, which is, there's Deimos and Phobos, so there's 2 moons of Mars, and you're on Deimos. This is like a moon base, and you're like some sort of military base. There's an experiment going on with portals, and accidentally a portal opens up, and demons from hell, I guess, come pouring through these portals, and that's kind of the storyline. That's where it kicks off, and it's kind of interesting because there are 3 chapters to the original game and 1 additional chapter if you get Ultimate Doom, and this is Ultimate Doom. And you'll see that as each chapter progresses, this is the first chapter, and then the second chapter, you'll see that as the game goes on, that the base becomes more and more twisted by the demons. See more hellish sort of environments, and the third chapter takes place in hell. So that's pretty much the basic outline of the game. And of course, as you progress, you encounter more and more monsters. They become more and more difficult, and you get more weapons. So it's kind of cool. And if you guys want me to, I can try and run through the other 2 chapters of the original game on Nightmare. I've beaten them before, although it's very, very difficult. And the 4th chapter on Nightmare, I think, might be impossible without the use of glitches. Because if you watch the speed run on Nightmare for the 4th chapter, they use a ton of glitches, which I guess is allowed by the speedrunning community. But I don't know those glitches, and they're pretty hard to do, so I might not be able to do that. But yeah, it's just a little bit of background there. It's a cool game. It's a great game. They don't make them like they used to, like I say. Although they did say that for Doom 4 that they are currently developing, they might go back to this old formula of just non-stop demon slaying action, which is something that has me very excited. Because Doom 3, if you've played it, is more of a action horror kind of game. It's pretty good. I mean, it's a good game. I enjoyed playing it, but it's not, it's a very different game from the classics, which I miss, sort of. And this level here is where the game gets quite tough on Nightmare. Actually, no, the 3rd level was pretty hard too, the Toxic Refinery. But this level is where it starts getting tough, and the level after this and the level after that, it just gets progressively harder. Let's see. In terms of basic tips, I don't know if any tips would be useful for this game. I don't know how many people play this. But if you plan on picking this up, or already own it, and you want some tips as to how you can run through the game on the harder difficulties, I'd say one key thing is to know where the secrets are, because there are various secret locations placed throughout the map that will give you a convenient pathway from point A to point B, so you can avoid huge mobs of demons, or that provide you with useful items, whether it be health or ammo or thing like that. And if you're playing this on easier difficulties, it's not a big deal if you don't know where they are. But if you're going to be playing this on Ultraviolence or Nightmare especially, which I wouldn't recommend doing unless you're very, very familiar with the game, you're going to need to take advantage of these secrets here. Like here, I just picked up a Soul Sphere, which gives me 100% additional health. You see, you know, on the HUD there at the bottom of the screen, and that's that, and the little blue pots you can pick up are the only things that allow you to go above 100% health. In Doom 2, there's a thing called a Mega Sphere that you can pick up that also takes you to 200% health and 200% armor, but that's not in this game. And so things like that you're going to want to know the locations of. And you know, things like that are very important to know. Armor, I think, reduces the damage you take by a percentage. It's very, very important to have armor in the harder difficulties because these demons hurt. They really hurt. The shotgun guys especially. And they seem like they're weak because they die really fast, but they dish out a ton of damage, especially at close distances. I'd say actually on the Nightmare difficulty, the shotgun guys in this game are probably among the most dangerous enemies in the game, even more dangerous than some of the demons, because you know they're ranged, they're hit scans, so you can't dodge them, and they do a lot of damage. So if you ever, you know, you come against a mob of demons like you see here, I would focus down the shotgun guys first because they're the ones who are going to do the most damage to you, and they tend to be the most dangerous. And then after that, you know, I just go down the list. And Doom 2 is even harder because they get these chain gun zombies, is what they're called. And they are what they sound like. They are zombies that fire chain gun bullets at you. And they're tough because they mow away at your health very quickly if you play on the harder difficulties. But we'll save that for another time. So when you play this on something like Nightmare, keep in mind that you don't want to be idle, because if you try to sit around and try to sit back and take out monsters, it's not going to work because they respawn every 10 seconds. So you have to be on the move constantly, which is tough because, you know, these guys hurt, you know. So I would say that find a path that will allow you to compensate for any sort of damages that you'll take, you know, so you can know, okay, I'll take this path and I can, you know, swoop by and pick up a health kit here and there, and that will ultimately allow you to do well. But anyway, it seems like I've gone over the time limit, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys later.